Alright guys, how's it going?
Good.
Good? Had a long day out, it was a bit chilly. Show of hands, who was cold outside today?
Only my toes.
Yeah, why?
Huh?
Because they're all wet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so most of you are wet, right?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a quick lesson about heat transfer and methods of heat transfer, hypothermia, and winter clothing and layers of clothing. And by the end of this little session here, you'll be able to identify, you know the 5 different methods that heat transfers from your body. You know the early signs of hypothermia, how to prevent that, and you have the basic understanding, and you can make educated choices while going out during the winter with your clothing and clothing layering. Any questions about that? Sweet. First off, I'm gonna hand you guys this neat little handout. You can pass that forward. There's 2 kinds. One is a collected summary of what I'm gonna talk about here, and one is a one-sided sheet with a few charts. Pass that around.
I'll pass it down.
Sweet. So, any physics enthusiasts in the house? I forgot, yeah. A few, yeah. So, can you name any ways of heat transfer? You might know this. Induction, yeah. In this context, we're gonna call it conduction, yeah. What else?
Convection.
Convection, yeah. Radiation, yeah. There's a few more. In this context, ways that heat escapes the human body.
Respiration.
Respiration, yep.
Perspiration.
Evaporation.
Perspiration.
Yeah. Perspiration, yeah. That's it. We're gonna start with radiation. So, radiation is the primary cause of heat loss from the human body, and majority of your of the heat of your body radiates from your head and your neck. At 10 degrees Celsius, which is 50 degrees Fahrenheit, up to 50% of your loss of body heat is because you have uncovered head and neck. When it's -5 or -15 or 5 Fahrenheit, it's up to 75%. So you should always wear a hat or some kind of a neck tube while you're playing outside. A good example of radiation as a way of heat transfer is you can try to figure out if a stove is on by placing your hand near it but not touching it, so you can feel the radiation of it. What's that? Thanks. The second one we're talking about is convection, and that's by the medium that your body radiates to, in this case air, moves away from you, thus again making your surroundings colder. So humans radiate heat to the surrounding air around us. If the air is still, we're pretty good, but if it's windy, the wind is going to blow the heated air out and your body has to heat up the surrounding air again, and thus a great example of that is you can still be cold even though it's super sunny and warm outside, because if it's super windy. Conduction is the way heat transfers out of you with a direct contact of an object. So if you sit on a cold log or cold stones or whatever, or in the snow, you're in direct contact of a cold surface, your body is going to lose heat. A good example of this is when you have a snowball in your hand, your finger is going to freeze if you don't have mittens on. And the rest, we have respiration. How heat is transferred to respiration is when you inhale cold air, your body is drained from heat. Like heat is transferred into the cold air in your lungs, so it warms up to your body heat, and then you exhale the warm heated air. So thus part of your body heat has been exhaled because it increased the temperature of the air inside your lungs. Does that make sense? Yeah, pretty straightforward. Right? And evaporation is, everybody's familiar with the term evaporation?
Yeah.
Somebody who isn't? Yeah. So that's when a liquid turns into a gas. And every time as a matter changes the form, it drains energy. In this case, it's heat. So when you sweat, and then your sweat evaporates, it cools you off, thus you lose some body heat. So why is this important? What happens if we lose too much of body heat?
Hypothermia.
Go. Nice segue there. Yeah. Hypothermia is when your body temperature drops below the normal, give or take 37 degrees Celsius or 90 something Fahrenheit. Has any of you experienced hypothermia before?
Yes.
Guy here
2
has.
times.
What kind was it?
What?
How did you feel like?
The first time that happened to me, I was shivering like really hard.
Yeah.
And they had to put me on the what's the name of the thermal.
Like a thermal
blanket?
blanket thing, yeah.
Yeah. And the second one it was because we were taking a shower on a really cold river that was like we were at like 5,000 meters above sea level.
Nice.
And it was like -12 outside, and the river was like not frozen for some reason.
Right.
And we took a shower there.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
So who was having shivers today at some point? Was it so cold that you were shivering? Well,
I was sweating.
yeah. But even though like most of you don't recognize that you've actually been hypothermic, shivering is the first step or sign of hypothermia. Because that's when your body wants to start moving your muscles in order to generate heat. So pretty much every one of us has at some point in their lives been slightly hypothermic. So yeah, the first a few sure tell signs of hypothermia is the shivering. And what else? You guys know? What usually happens if you're slightly cold in your fingers?
You start to turn like white.
Yeah.
Numbness.
Yeah, they get numb and you lose like fine motor skills, right?
Yeah.
That's because your body starts to fight the cold and it prioritizes your internal organs over your extremities. So you start to shut down your veins in your extremities because they're expendable in order to keep yourself alive. Thus, blood starts to flow out of your extremities into your core system, and then you start to, lose feeling, and that's why your fingers are pretty much cold because you don't have warm blood flow. The second stage, going a bit deeper into this survival instinct, is your body starts to slow down your pulse and your metabolism in order to keep you alive, hopefully. Kind of the wish is it will get warm again at some point, but if it's cold winter, it probably won't.